settle in and listen to our mixtape and know the music vanishes. Enjoy your butternut sandwiches.
All right, welcome back once again to the mixtape. I'm Jason Emmett.
I'm Casey Masterpiece.
And I'm Twisted Kid Matt.
I don't know what I was expecting you to say. He said his name. I was expecting more. I don't know why. So this week we're going to listen. This week we're going to be talking about some of the best musical collaborations of all time. Now, I know we did duets, but this is different because we want to talk about it. It is slightly different. In that they can be duets. They're not necessarily. They can be a little more than that. But one of the things that makes collaborations a little bit different than duets is typically in a collaboration, both parties work on the song or have input on the song. And that's not always the case with a duet. Sometimes in a duet, they just bring somebody in to cut the track or whatever. So we thought it'd be fun to kind of talk about some of the best music collabs that have ever happened or some of the ones that have really changed things. Now, we could talk about Aerosmith and Run DMC Walk This Way, but we have talked about it on this show a few times. Yes, massive collaboration and changed the face of music if you think about it, and also restored Aerosmith's career, which we won't talk about right now because I'm really upset about what happened because I had tickets to go to that concert. I understand it. So for those of you who don't know, they're retired. They're done. They had to cancel completely. Steven Tyler's throat is so bad that they fear if they keep going, it's just going to do permanent damage, which I understand. But I had tickets to go to the show, and I was very excited to see their farewell tour. And now, instead, I am now going to see Green Day, Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Linda Lindas. So, yeah, one door closes. The other thing we're not going to talk about is we're not going to talk about Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson say, because we've talked about it on this show before. We've gotten into pretty in depth on it in the show before. We are going to start off by talking about one that we have talked about. I'm not going to get real in depth about it, but this is a huge musical collab. So we're going to talk really briefly. I'm not even going to play a clip of it, but I want to mention Queen and David Bowie, Under Pressure. I think it's worth being said because I think this is one of the most kind of prolific collaborations of all time. It's on a lot of people's number ones on their top list. It dropped in 1981. It was included on the 82 Queen album Hot Space, listed number 31 on VH1's greatest songs of the 80s, voted the second best collaboration of all time by Rolling Stone. Like I said, we've talked about it. This happened as an accident. It wasn't even intended. They happened to be in the same studio together. They brought him in to work. They said, hey, why don't you come in and work on another track with us? They did. They've been fooling around with this music. What even called Under Pressure at the time was a totally different song, but he got together with them. They started writing lyrics together, and Under Pressure is what came of it. So it's a really big song to kind of talk about, but we have talked about it. I want to get into a few things we have not talked about or have not talked about very much. So I want to start with a song from now. You guys don't really know what's on most of this list, right?
I don't think we know anything that's on this list other than what I brought.
Well, a couple because I brought
late in the day.
up. Yeah, and I brought one up earlier to you guys, but
that's true.
So the first song on this list comes from 1999, and let's let you guys hear it. It'll go off in the background. We're gonna hear a few seconds.
Oh yeah, that was freaking huge. The album was huge.
We're gonna talk about that album. So this collab, this is Santana featuring Rob Thomas. This was released, this came off the Supernatural album, which was a Santana album. Like I said, 1999. Carlos Santana had done plenty of stuff, back in the past, but this was kind of his comeback album. Do what?
He was at Woodstock.
Yeah. I mean, he's been around for a long time.
All the way back in the 60s, yeah.
And he's just a prolific guitar player, so having people sing is real common for him. So he puts together this album, Supernatural. The album's won 9 freaking Grammy Awards. It actually beat Thriller. It actually beat Thriller's record for Grammys for album. On this album alone, he collabed with Shakira, Lauryn Hill, CeeLo Green, Wyclef, the amazing song Put Your Lights On with Everlast. I mean, he did all these collabs. This whole album is worth listening to. It's wonderful. But it was the song he did with Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20 that just, you could not turn on the radio for more than 20 minutes in 1990 and 2000 without hearing this song. I mean, if you're on a country station, probably not. But if you were on like a hit station, this song was everywhere. It hit number 1 on the Billboard, and it stayed there for 12 weeks. This song was the last number 1 song of 1990 and the first number 1 song of 2000 because of how long it stayed on the Billboard list, which I think is pretty amazing. So Carlos Santana had been working on the music for this, and they really didn't know like where they wanted to go with it. And then they bring Rob Thomas in, and he like wrote the lyrics to the song, and they're about his wife. This song is about his wife, and it's pretty amazing. Yeah, can you imagine getting this as your love letter? Like
one of the biggest songs, geez.
It's a sexy ass song. So I mean, it did. I'm sure
the video's no slouch either.
Yeah. In 2002,
it is a hot one.
Like 7 inches from the midday sun. I hear your like great lyrics. I hear your words and they melt everyone but you stay so smooth. Like it's such a fucking great song.
Yeah.
I want to go a little further because in 2002 he does another album, and this one has another collaboration with Michelle Branch, and that is The Game of Love, and that song is also friggin' killer.
I didn't know that was Santana
and Michelle Branch. Yeah, okay. This one hit the charts. Also wins him another Grammy. Landed number 5 on the Billboard chart. Song. Now, this song was written by Greg Alexander, who also originally recorded the vocals before Clive Dennis said he thought it needed to be a female voice. I want to ask you guys, do you know who Greg Alexander is?
The name's familiar.
That name sounds familiar.
Should, because we've talked about him on the show. What if I give you a hint? We'll say, I've got the dreamer's disease.
Yeah. Oh, that's New Radicals.
Greg Alexander was the lead singer for the New Radicals. He wrote The Game of Love, and he recorded it with Santana. They're like, we need a female on this. We need a female. So they ended up getting Tina Turner, and that version's out there. She recorded The Game of Love with Santana, but for one reason or another, I do not know why, she didn't want to do a music video. So they're like, we need to do another version. They went to Macy Gray, but they weren't really feeling it. And then they landed on Michelle Branch. And I'm actually going to say, you can go on Spotify anywhere you want. He released the Tina Turner version in 2007 on the album Ultimate Santana. I like Michelle Branch's version. Now, I love Tina Turner, but it's a different kind of song. And she's so soulful with her voice. It almost doesn't flow right with Santana's music, but it is out there and it's good. But it's maybe I'm just so used to Michelle Branch. But Game of Love,
yeah, it could be. That's the version you heard first, probably.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I didn't even know the Tina Turner one existed for a long time, but it does. You can go on Spotify right now and listen to it. It's good. The music's exactly the same. They just recut Michelle Branch's, and it's funny because she's talked about it. She's like, I never met Carlos Santana when I was recording it. She was like, they'd already done the music, so they brought her into the studio. So she didn't
sing over this. It's like, okay,
yeah. Which
I kind of want to know how she feels about kind of like outdoing Tina Turner, though. That's right. A huge honor.
Gotta be a feather in your cap, right?
Can't talk shit about Tina Turner, but guess what I did? Like,
Carlos Santana is notorious for collabing with people, and both of those albums are worth listening to. They are fantastic. But Supernatural is just one of those, like, it's considered by many as to be one of the best albums of all time. So it's really good. The next one we're going to go into, I don't think we've ever mentioned this. We've definitely mentioned both of these people on the show, but I don't think we've ever talked about their collaboration. This is a song from 1981, and I'll play a little track right now. Yeah, this is 1981. Tom Petty, Stevie Nicks, Stop Dragging My Heart Around. So this is from Stevie Nicks' album Belladonna. The song was actually written by Tom Petty and Mike Campbell, and it was supposed to be a Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers song. But record exec Jimmy Levine, I always say Lovin', and I know it's not right. Jimmy Levine took a cut of the song over to Stevie Nicks, and she was like, we need to work on this together and then duet it. And that's what ended up happening. It did really well. Landed number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. led to numerous collaborations between Stevie Nicks and Tom Petty. They did the song Insider from Petty's album Hard Promises. They did I Will Run to You from Stevie Nicks' album The Wild and Heart. And they were known to get up on stage together over the years and do versions of these songs, plus a few more. They would just sort of pop up at each other's concerts and do songs with them. So huge collab between the two. Do you guys know? I mean, you kind of both had a look on your face. You know this song, right? You both know this song.
Yeah.
I'll admit I knew the song. I didn't realize it was Stevie Nicks and Tom Petty. To me, it's just been like, honestly, a faceless song since I first heard it. Like, I only recently learned that Tom Petty was involved, and I never realized Stevie Nicks was involved at all.
Kind of cool.
I didn't know
say
who it
that
was singing.
because we're going to get to another song on this list that my wife said something very similar. And I start thinking, like, how often you didn't know that Carlos Santana worked on
No,
the
I had
Game of
no
Love?
idea.
You didn't even realize that.
I just thought it was a Michelle Branch song with
Yeah,
a
and I
really
wonder how
kick-ass
often
guitar player.
that happy. He's really good. He wrote I think it's cool that Greg Alexander wrote that song though, and recorded it. And he was with his grace that he's like, yeah, I agree. It needs a female vocalist. I think that's really cool because you wonder about bands like the New Radicals because they came out and they were kind of hot for like a second and then they just sort of but do they? And we talked about this a lot too. Linda Perry, Four Non Blondes, works all the time.
Yeah, still out there making music now. She's got
Great
a
music.
song, another collaboration, probably won't get mentioned later on, but she's involved on the new Dolly Parton album, Rockstar, doing What's Up with
That's
Dolly
because
Parton.
she moved into the world of producing and creating and is actually really good at it and has worked on some really great albums. We just don't know. I remember Tony Basil back in the day and everybody's like, oh, she only had one song. Well, she's actually done a ton for a ton of people, including the Talking Heads. It's just that was not her thing. She's like, this is what I want to do.
Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo.
I think if you can say you worked on Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo, you're just an awesome person. Nobody ever talks about Breaking, by the way. I think people were like, oh, I just thought it was the sequel and there was no movie.
Like Thanksgiving 3 and there is no Thanksgiving 2. That's real, by the way.
Leonard Part 6.
Right.
True. Yeah.
It's also real. I can't even say that. I actually used to kind of think that movie was fun, but I'm not allowed to say that anymore. So
Yeah.
The
A little
next
problematic.
Yeah, a little bit. The next song on our list, I'm pretty sure we've brought up on this show before, but I don't know that we've ever gotten real in depth. And it's a very important song to talk about because it did something kind of major in once this collaboration happened. So this song was a remake. The original song was recorded back in 1975 it was on an album called 99 Miles from LA. But then a certain Spanish singer approached a certain country singer and said, I think we should collab on this song together. And they did. And this is what we got. I know. As soon as you hear it, you're going to be like, duh.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, Willie Nelson and Julio Iglesias.
I thought it was a different Iglesias. Not even gonna lie. I thought it was Hero. I was like, that's a collaboration? What? Yeah.
This is All the Girls I've Loved Before. So I said Julio Iglesias approaches Willie Nelson. He says, like, I want to do this song with you. And Willie Nelson being Willie Nelson, I want to say this again. We don't get political on the show. He's a very liberal human being, especially for someone in his genre. But because he's so liberal and so open, he has had the opportunity to do all these crossovers and stuff that I think isn't as common in the country world as it could be. And there will be others we talk about. They try. And they usually hit when they do it.
Yeah.
But this was ingenious of Julio Iglesias because he comes to him and he says, hey, I want to do the song with you. And it works. It's released on Iglesias' album. It's called, I think, 1100 Bel Air Place. And it turns out to be this massive.
Which is 99 miles from LA, probably.
I wonder if that's true.
I don't know, but that'd be hilarious. The look on your face, though, was amazing. You're like, wait, is it? Hang on.
You're being serious for a second. I'm like,
no, I was making a joke, but that'd be crazy if it is.
Well, do you know why this song turned out to be such a huge deal? Like, what
Is
made
Willie
this song
Nelson's
such a huge?
awesome?
That yes, but no.
Yeah. That's a
Was
given.
it
You would
Julio Iglesias' final song?
no,
No?
actually, just
Okay.
the opposite. Julio Iglesias was a big name, but not in the English-speaking market. No one knew who the hell he was.
Hmm.
This song broke him out into the English-speaking market. So this was kind of his breakthrough song. And I mean, this song peaked at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 1 on the Canadian RPM Top Singles chart, and went to number 1 on the country chart as well. And so to have this like Spanish speaking guy do this song with Willie Nelson and it hit all these charts, sort of broke him out here in the States and got him the attention. And it was a smash hit for Nelson
Yeah.
too. So
It's
like
a
I
song
said,
I
any-
grew up hearing like my entire
I
life,
think
which is why when
I
you
think we all did.
played it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that it was Spank Dog who's brought it up on this show before. So that would
Might
just
have,
say,
yeah.
suggest that again, different people, different genres. But
Yeah.
Willie Nelson has a habit of doing that. He's just
I know
one of those people.
Kevin brought up Seven Spanish Angels and made me
That
feel
was-
horrible
Oh.
if you're listening to that one. God
but
damn.
another Willie Nelson crossover collab.
Yeah. Was it Ray Charles?
Yep, Ray Charles.
Yeah. I think was that our duets episode. I think
Yeah.
we talked about that
Now he's
so.
duetting with Snoop Dogg, which is
Right.
amazing.
because he is so open to being
Yeah.
a performer. And I
It's
think
almost like
that's-
if you're open minded, people want to work with you. I don't
isn't
know.
that weird,
It's just
right?
it's
Mhm.
very strange and hard to think of,
Oh man. Well, it's weird because this next one is also a collaboration and kind of on the same
What?
genre lines. And but I really want to have a discussion with you guys about this one. So let me go ahead and play the cut. You're not going to be shocked this one is on the list, but I want to have a little discussion about this song.
Gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
I got the horses in the back. I guess it's black. That is matted black. Got the bushes black.
It's hard not
Did you just whip and Nene just then?
Did you just whip and nay on this
This
show?
is why you have to watch us on YouTube, everybody. You
Yeah, I
can
don't know
see
if we
things
can put
like
this one on YouTube. We'll have to.
that.
We're
We'll
gonna
find out. This might be a Patreon exclusive
Yes,
that
this
doesn't
is
exist.
Old Town Road, Lil Nas X featuring Billy Ray Cyrus. So I want to talk about the song for a minute, and then I want to have a little discussion about the song. So this was the debut mainstream single for Lil Nas X. He was like, I don't remember where he was working in like a grocery store or some shit. He did this whole thing on his own. He bought some track for like nothing off the music, and then he wrote and laid down the lyrics. Releases this in 2018, but nobody knew that version. In 2019, they do the remix where they get Billy Ray Cyrus on. They do the whole, gonna take my horse to the old town. And that's the version everybody knows. We are not going to discuss whether or not Billy Ray Cyrus has turned into a human piece of garbage. Apparently, things are not
Because he
going well
has.
for him right now. So the song was certified diamond by the RIAA in October of 2019 for selling 10 million total units in the United States. It was the fastest song to be certified diamond ever. At the 62nd Annual Grammy Awards, the remix was nominated for Record of the Year, won Best Pop Duo Group Performance, and Best Music Video. But we need to discuss something because initially this song was gaining a lot of popularity. So TikTok helped set this song off, in case you don't know. TikTok's kind of like the YouTube for songs. So like Justin, what YouTube did for Justin Bieber, TikTok's been known to do for quite a few songs. And because it gained popularity, it entered the Billboard charts. It reached number 19 on the Billboard Hot Country charts, and it was expected to grow more when they yanked it off the charts.
Yeah.
Now, Billboard said it didn't fit the genre, and that sparked this major debate as what does and does not constitute country music. It would never re-enter the charts because they wouldn't let it. But I wanted to kind of get your guys' thoughts. Do you think that is legit? That this is not country and they should have yanked it from the charts, or do you think they should have let it stay on the charts?
Hmm.
All right, Kevin.
This is a lot of quiet, a lot of contemplation. Do you want me to give my thoughts first, or do you want?
I know what
I
I
think
think.
I think it's bullshit.
Yeah,
I think
I
there's
agree.
enough country in this, and you have a country artist in this. And if country music fans like it and they are buying it and it is climbing up their charts because it is played on a country station and they are listening to it, I get what they're trying to say, that this isn't country music, or do they just not want a little gay black guy on the charts? That's kind of a question that's been brought up. I hate to say
Right.
that. But
Yep.
is it true? I don't know. It's
I think
Billboard.
that has something to do with it.
It is Billboard though, and I don't think they.
Yeah, but how much of it do you think was influenced by outside sources of people going, hey, no?
Great question. Don't know. But
And then I would throw another artist into this
Beyonce?
discussion. That too. That's not who I was going for first, but be absolutely with that.
with what's going on.
Kane
yeah.
Brown. If you know or familiar with Kane Brown,
Mm-mm.
a lot of his music, he's not bad. Like I actually kind of enjoy some of his music, and we can cut back to this when he gets canceled for something later on down, because that's just what happens anymore. But his music, lyrically, he is a young African American guy. I don't know full ethnicity. I'm not going to go down that road, but as we have stated, in this country, you have any percentage of black in you, you're considered black.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's
Yeah.
just what it
One
is.
drop rule. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get guys like Kane Brown who are doing genuine country music, but he's taking hip hop music and adding it more to the background. And that's like some of his, God, I can't remember. He did,
It's like
I think it
country
actually might be a collaboration that he did not too long ago. I'm blanking on the name of the song, but he did a song and the music is primarily like hip hop beats. And it's a great song, but the lyrics and the way he sings and everything is more, it's got like the country twang to it. And he's considered a genuine country artist. He's not considered hip hop at all. That was acceptable. But you get Lil Nas X and then featuring Billy Ray Cyrus. And then everybody's like, whoa,
Well,
hang on.
I think an argument can be made that this isn't the only. There are other country dance songs that exist that have
Yeah.
similar beats that they're playing at the country bars. And then Beyonce makes a country album and people lose their shit. Stay in
It's
your lane. Like,
terrible.
what are you talking about? But I'm
good.
not a fan.
Yeah.
Of the album. My wife likes it, and I'm like,
I
but
listened to it. It's pretty. I liked it. but-
you want me to be honest here? Not
Shoot.
voice. I'm not a Beyonce fan. As far as her music, her voice is incredible. Not my style.
Yeah.
And country's not my style, so I don't really fall into it. But
Yeah.
it's really good.
We're not
Why do
the
people
target
lose their
market.
shit? Somehow Darius Rucker managed to do it, and I think that's amazing that he
Yeah.
pulled it off, because
I mean,
it is not. We had
Charlie
him
Pride
and
already
Charlie
existed
Pride.
too, though.
It is
Like,
rough.
He's just the go-to
I follow
black
these-
artist from back in the day that did country
I
music.
actually follow these three black women country singers on TikTok and they're fantastic, and they're their music is great, but it's about their struggle just breaking in. And I get it. It's a hard market, but I don't think it's fair. I think if this song is being played on country stations and people are listening to it and it's getting the listens, and it does have a country aspect to it, then it should be fair play, in my opinion. That's just my
They
opinion.
try to cross over into the rock scene all the time.
It happens all the time, and we,
If you want everybody to stay in your lane, stay in yours too.
Yeah.
So,
Are we supposed to say, well, we can't play this on hip hop and R&B stations because Billy Ray Cyrus is in it, so it doesn't fit the genre?
and for the record, I say that
Right.
as if you want everybody to stay in their lane, you stay in yours. Otherwise, everybody can do whatever they want. That's my personal
I agree.
thought.
And I think if it
So-
hits on a chart because that demographic of people are listening to it, then it deserves to be on the chart.
Yep.
End of discussion. And I'm sorry that it
Regardless of the chart it's on.
upsets a few people that they don't want it on there, but that's what I feel like happened. But
Yeah.
I like this song. My
Got
wife
my
does not.
chocolate, my peanut butter, that kind of thing.
My-
Which
Hey,
we all
that
know
works-
that's a
that works
delicious
for
combination.
everyone.
Yeah, it is delicious.
My wife doesn't like this song, but I think it's catchy as hell. And I like every time it comes on, I'm like,
He
got my
whips and
horses
nays in the
back,
living room. Yeah.
horses in the, like, I love it.
By the way, side note about Lil Nas X, him going out and promoting himself after the song came out was incredible, because there are videos that you can find of him performing at an elementary school, that specific song with the lyrics. As I pointed out to the guys earlier, bull riding and boobies is in the song. And he talks about lean all in his bladder in front of children. So that's the thing
Listen,
that happened.
Listen,
there's also a
boobies is funny
video.
word to young
True.
kids.
It is. It's hilarious.
Boobies.
But there's also a video of
And
him
to- and to
making
adults.
there's a video of him making paninis with Gordon Ramsay
That's
I've
wonderful.
seen
because he has a song called Panini, and it
That's
starts
so
off
good.
like, why is this happening? And then he's like, you have a hit song called Panini, and
So good.
they make paninis, and it's like, yeah, it's just a wholesome video of him
Maybe Lil
promoting
Nas
Lil
should-
Nas X.
should have taught Gordon to make a grilled cheese sandwich because the man cannot do that to save his life.
That's
I kind
crazy.
of agree.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
man,
feel like we both just sit
I'm
home,
not
sit
gonna
home and
do
watch
this
Gordon
just-
Ramsay videos.
because we're on a limit time wise, but I want to ask you guys one question. I don't want to have a discussion on it. I
Does
just
Bobby
wanna ask-
Flay suck? Yes.
It's gonna be
Yes.
hard if you disagree with me. Oh yeah, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
If
Trash.
if you're watching somebody and they're like, I'm going to show you how to make the ultimate grilled cheese sandwich, and they're like, blah blah blah, you do 4 cheeses, blah blah blah, put some ham on it. Do you suddenly go, that's a melt, motherfucker? That's
Yeah,
not
it's a
grilled
ham and cheese
sandwich.
sandwich. What are you
A
doing?
melt. It's a melt when you. And don't get me wrong, I love them, but it's
Yeah.
not a grilled
It
cheese.
should be
Once you
cheese
add
and
that,
only cheese.
that
And it
makes
should
a
be
melt.
the worst cheese you can find. There's no
And
cheese
then
on the outside. Sorry.
later on
Connie.
Food Talk.
It's delicious, but
Later on Food Talk. Is
Yeah.
a hot dog considered a sandwich?
we're not doing this because that's a real
It is. It's
conversation.
sandwich.
That is, yeah.
I don't want to get involved. There's a whole
And then-
podcast called "Is a Hot Dog a Sandwich?" And
And then after that, grape Kool-Aid, the best.
listen,
We're done, we're done.
you shut your mouth, sir.
Fruit punch all the way.
got him banned. Oh, got him kicked off or Facebook for a week or whatever because
Yeah.
he threatened to
Now,
throat
having
punch
said
me.
that, I currently have grape Kool-Aid in my refrigerator right now because it's
All right.
still good. It's just not the best. End of
I
discussion.
don't know what I consider the best. It really just depends on the mood I'm in, to be honest. I don't know.
Charcoalberry Finn. Yeah.
This next
Tyler
song,
recommend combining the two.
I have a
The
feeling.
grape and lemonade. But go ahead.
Actually,
I
that
have
is
a
really
feeling
good.
on a couple of these songs because we are old farts.
Mhm.
That you guys didn't know these existed.
I'm doing that
this
later.
next
Kevin, by
song
the way.
I
That sounds
didn't.
awesome.
Now these are chart hitting songs. I just want to be clear about that. I didn't know this next one existed, and I'm so glad that I discovered it. This one blew my mind. This came out in 2019. I'm going to play the track, and you're going to instantly hear two. Well, not instantly. You're going to hear one, and then another one. But check
Like
this out.
simultaneously singing.
You're gonna know. You're gonna know who it is when you hear voices, especially this
Okay.
opening one. Here you go. 2019.
Yep. I love that song.
You know the song?
Oh yeah.
So good.
Yep.
And it
Very,
fits, it
very
works.
unexpected.
So clearly, Kevin, that is Ozzy,
Oh, okay. For a second there, I thought it was like Phil Collins.
and this is Post Malone.
Post Malone.
Post Malone, Ozzy Osbourne, Travis Scott. Take What You Want. 2019 off the album Hollywood's Bleeding. What
Great
makes
album,
this
by the way.
song work and so good? First of all, I've stated on the show before, I'm a Post Malone fan. I actually really like
Yep.
Post Malone. What makes this song work is it clearly sounds like an Ozzy song and
Yeah.
clearly sounds like a Post Malone song.
Yep.
And not two genres that I would have ever combined in my head before. But then when I heard it, I'm like, well, this
Yep.
works.
In my opinion,
Ozzy-
Post Cologne. Why does he not have his own
Why is
cologne
he
brand
not telling that?
called Post Cologne?
Cologne.
Jeez. All right.
I like it.
All right. That was a
Post, get
weird
on
slip. All right. Yeah. Post Malone. I'll collaborate with
Now
you.
you know
on
what
that.
it feels like to be me.
Yeah. So Post Malone can do no wrong, in my opinion.
He's a
Even
good dude.
I'm
too.
saying this, he seems like one of the nicest guys ever.
Yeah, good dude.
I
man.
love the fact that he is constantly making music. And he is the
Mhm.
kind of person who's like, if I think you're cool, I'm going to work with you. And then he
Yes.
just puts out awesome song after awesome song. And he's currently doing, going back to Lil Nas X and Miley Ray Cyrus. Sure, we'll go with that.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it.
That would be a great
Damn, dude.
collaboration.
We
That-
are
yeah.
worried about you today. You're me, and that's not
Yeah,
good. stuff.
I'm having a moment. There's so many thoughts that are just all trying to come out at once. So he's doing literally the same exact thing that Lil Nas X did, just maybe 5 years later,
Yeah.
if that. Like he's doing country music now.
Yeah.
It's getting played on country radio, and then it's getting played on pop radio as well. Like the stations that would normally be playing Post Malone, they're playing. He's got a song right now. I Had Some Help with Morgan Wallen, who is a trash version in my opinion, but it's a great song, and it's a straight up like new country song. but it is definitely, it's Post Malone doing something really cool. And like I said, he seems like somebody who just constantly has a need to create music, which I fully respect.
So besides the fact that we know how he treats his fans, which is incredibly awesome, if you've never seen the videos, my wife brought something up today, and I want to get, because it kind of it goes with what you're saying. She's like, she's not a Post Malone fan. She doesn't have anything. She's like, as a person, I think he seems great. Like he seems like a wonderful person. But she's like, I'm not into his music. And then she says, like, I can't figure out why some people think he's attractive. And I'm like, I think I get it. I'm like, because I see this guy that gets up and he dances, even though he knows he can't dance, and he's not worried about body image. I think there's a certain thing that comes with, and he's kind to people.
Confidence.
And they're like, he's just him, and he's not trying to be anybody else. Like, do I think the 50 tattoos on his face are ridiculous? Yeah, I think it was a poor choice, but it's his life.
Yeah.
And he just seems to be a happy person, man.
Mm-hmm.
And his music to me is, I don't know, there's something really appealing about it. So when I heard this song with Ozzy, and it just worked, man.
Yeah.
And then Travis Scott's involved as well. This was their first collaboration.
I was going to say, I feel like there's another song that they did together.
Raid, Ozzy's song Raid from 2020 is also, he got Ozzy. So this was Post Malone going to Ozzy, and then Ozzy came to Post Malone and said, I want to work together on this too. And this song's just so fitting for both of their voices. It just works. So I had never heard it.
Yeah.
And it was on the charts. It landed at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100. So this was a chart topper. It was a big song, and because it was from 2019, I like new music. I don't listen to celestial radio anymore, which is something we talked about in the last episode. Altascape Radio. I'm going to give them a real quick plug.
Yeah.
Friends of the show. They basically created an online station that is all alternative, like the stuff you want to hear, because he was sick of celestial radio. We won't get too in depth, but go check it out. It's on the Live 365.
It's on live365.com. You can stream it off of their website, and I'm actually going to talk to him and see if he can turn it into like a standalone app.
This is not any kind of weird sponsorship. We just like it.
We like this guy. He's not giving us any money.
It kind of fits because I'm talking about, I don't listen to much celestial radio anymore because I just don't like, you get so little music, and I think it's cool that people are doing this, but I hadn't heard this song.
This is almost exclusively music too. So
I hadn't heard this song because I don't listen. I listen to newer music, but I have to pick it up different places. And so that sort of happened.
Yeah. If you lived with me, you'd hear it, because not only is Connie a Post Malone fan, she's followed by every Post Malone bot on Instagram, because they just go, oh,
weird brag.
Post Malone. Yeah, no, it's become a thing. Well, she's like, Post Malone, just follow me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I doubt it, but that's cool.
It's never the same guy. He's like, I'm a Nigerian prince.
Named Post Malone. So let's go into the next one. You were talking earlier where you said, I never realized that was, who was it you were saying you didn't realize it was? You just knew it was
Stevie
a song?
Nicks.
Stevie
Nicks and Tom Petty.
And
when I say recently, I mean like within the past month or two. It came on the radio and it said who it was. I'm like, wait a minute.
So this next song comes from 1986, and I'm bringing that up because my wife would have been very young at the time. Actually, she'd have been like
what year was this?
86. She would have been like 1 or 2 years old at this point, but I mean, she's heard it over the years, and she always thought it was somebody different. So I'm going to play the clip, and I want you guys to tell me who this is. You know the song. I guarantee you both know the song. I want you to tell me who sings it. So here you go.
Aretha Franklin.
It is Aretha Franklin.
I don't think I've ever heard this song.
Oh, sure you have. Here you go. Here's the hook.
Yeah.
No.
Billy Ocean?
No. Fair, though. No. This is Aretha Franklin and George Michael. This is I Knew You Were Waiting.
Oh,
I was about to
okay.
say that.
1986.
Yeah.
Now,
when you say
oddly
George
enough,
Michael, it makes sense now.
my wife went,
It's a weird
I know it
collaboration.
sounds weird, but I guess when I was a kid, I always thought it was Tina Turner.
That's who I thought it was.
Yeah.
I get that. I personally think Aretha's Ooh, that's tough. Is
You
Aretha
about to ruffle some
Franklin better
feathers
than
here?
Tina Turner? I think she has a
Aretha
more,
Franklin? Oh yeah,
yeah,
better.
I think she has a more soulfully impactful
Yeah.
voice
Mhm.
and a bigger range. She can
Yeah.
both really good. So that's tough. That's a battle that I don't know if I'd like to have with people. Um,
I don't
That'd
even
be
think it's
that's an
tough. I
interesting
think
versus
Aretha
episode
got it.
though.
but they both have different things. That's the thing.
True. I mean, with
They
Tina,
yeah,
great
that's
dancer.
well, and she
Singer,
does
obviously.
different. She kind of has that gruff sound that she can pull off that works sometimes. I don't know. It's a pretty cool.
Hmm.
That's that's like saying we talked about we did it back in the old show way back in the day, Michael Jackson versus Prince, and I think most people would say Michael Jackson. They just want to lean to it, but body of work, Prince.
Yeah.
You can go back and listen to that
bigger
episode
work,
here. Actually, we did
bigger.
that.
No, that was from
Obscure
Really?
80s.
your 80s. We never did it on this
Yeah,
show.
we
Yeah.
Oh, I
never.
thought we did. Oh.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
always thought about it, but yeah.
We did. We talked about it.
Hmm.
So this song's from 1986, landed #1 on the Billboard and also over in the UK. It was actually Aretha Franklin's highest charting single of all time. They also won the 87 Grammy for Best R&B Song. I guess Aretha Franklin's people had actually approached George Michael's in 1984. I'm sorry, I have a habit of doing that.
He
His name is George
pluralizes.
Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name is George Michael, and I know that's a small thing, but it is his name. In 1984, they approached him and they wanted him to write and produce a song for Aretha Franklin, but at the time, his schedule wouldn't really allow it. Plus, he was really freaked out and intimidated by the idea. He's like, "You want me to write a song for Aretha Franklin?"
That's
I don't
a little
know.
bit of pressure. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, he was like, "I don't think I'm worthy to do that," but
Right.
eventually,
At
it
least he was
happened.
humble, you know.
I
Yeah.
agree.
He's
I mean,
like,
she
hey man,
demands respect.
Like he had a
RESPECT.
few.
That's what
Thank
George
you.
Michael owes to me.
Would the controversy of George Michael even be a controversy today? I think it was
No.
because no one knew he was gay, and then
Right.
how we found out was kind of shocking. But
And
I think
shitty.
he-
It's straight up shitty
literally,
to do
'cause it was
that.
a bathroom.
Yeah. True. Yeah. I wasn't gonna go there.
But you got to, by all accounts, he was a very talented singer and amazing. And I think, considering knowing what I know about him, a lot of his roots probably came from some of these R&B and soul singers that
Mhm.
he probably loved as a kid. So can you imagine? It's like, we want you to write and produce a song for Aretha, and it's like, you want what now?
Yeah.
I love when
He's like,
famous artists
"This
are
lady,
intimidated by other artists. By
Yeah.
the way. I think that's cool.
Okay, so side note, going back to Ozzy, he's actually stated recently he would love to collaborate with Paul McCartney. He met Paul McCartney, and he was just
God,
like,
that'd be cool.
I went back to being a kid, and just
That's
being
so
like, oh my god, I'm meeting a Beatle.
Well,
But yeah.
I would say if there's one person that might have the ability to intimidate most musicians,
probably
it'd
Paul
be like
McCartney.
Paul McCartney. Even though he probably,
even though
loves
he's also
himself.
not alive anymore, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, he's not.
Paul
That's not
McCartney?
really him. Yeah, Paul McCartney's dead.
Oh, because Paul died, and they. But
Yeah,
you
replaced
threw
him.
me for something like what, Matt? Yeah, we talked about it on our conspiracy of it or whatever. Anyway, they did end up doing a song together. It was this, and it did fantastic. Obviously,
What blows my mind is that it was her most famous song, and Kevin actually referred to what I think is her biggest song is Respect,
Mhm.
and
which was a remake.
which we talked about in the
Really?
past. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's- okay.
was it?
Songs you didn't know
was
were covered.
Otis Redding.
I think so. Yeah,
She changed it up a lot, and she added the RESPECT. That was not a part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a remake. I want to say
That's
Otis Redding
right.
sang it originally. Yeah. So that's crazy. But I think you're probably, this was her biggest charting single. That might be her most famous song. Though I think Respect is probably her most famous song. It'd be hard. Most people, when you say name an Aretha Franklin song,
that's what I go to, and
Mhm.
I'm literally
Most.
sitting here going, I don't think I know this song. What's the title of the song again?
I Knew You Were Waiting.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
knew
I
you were
genuinely
waiting for
don't
me.
think I
Which
know this song
movie
at
is
all.
this from? I know it's
That's oh god, I should have had that in the notes, and I didn't.
I'm gonna look it
is
up.
off the soundtrack from the 80s,
Mm.
and I don't remember.
I don't want to say Beverly Hills Cop.
No, it's not.
Something.
The
I
Pointer
Knew You
something
Were
in the
Waiting for
80s.
Me. Pretty Woman? No,
is it on Pretty
it's
Woman?
just in the
I don't
lyrics.
think so this is way earlier than
Yeah.
Pretty Woman.
I'm looking it up. Carry on. Vamp. if you
Well, I'm
want.
going to go on to the next song. We only have a couple more songs to actually bring up, and one of them I'm going to let Matt talk about because he wanted it brought up on the show, and I'd never heard it, and so we're going to put it on here. But we're going to go with this next one. This is also a chart topper that from 2011, and honestly, guys, I did not know this song existed, which is weird because it has 3 wonderful people working on it. And then I heard it, and it kind of blew me away. So here's the next cut. This is from 2011.
Nobody wanted to fuck with the white boy trap crying in this boat. You saved my life, now maybe it's my turn to save yours. But I could never repay you. What you did for me is way more.
That's Eminem.
Yeah.
You ain't giving up on me,
But the producer, is that the Neptunes?
No,
No.
That's
so
Sia?
This is Eminem with
Okay.
Dr. Dre and Skylar Grey. Now
Oh,
I'm
okay.
a fan of Skylar
Oh.
Grey and
Is that the piano kid?
Skylar Grey,
Yeah,
the piano kid.
he
I
played
don't know
piano.
what that is.
I don't know.
It's a she, and
Then no,
you hear her singing, right?
barely.
So this song is called "I Need a Doctor," and it came out in 2011. I'd actually never heard of the song, and I know there's people going, "What?" There isn't anything about this song on paper that wouldn't work. When you have Dre, Eminem, and Skylar Grey all together, it sort of works. 3 amazing performers together. What I like about this song is it's very stripped down musically. You've just got kind of this drum beat in the background, and then when she comes in and does the chorus. This song, though, is all about the friendship between Dre and Eminem and the stuff they've endured over the years. And if you listen to Dre's parts of the song, he basically attacks all the people that said they were his friends, and then where are they? They aren't there for him anymore. But he says straight up in the song, but I don't think you'll ever do that to me. And these two are, and Eminem's whole part is about, you believed in this little white boy that nobody else believed in. You gave me a chance, and you were there for me. The song's amazing. The lyrics are fantastic. Dre, like I said, gets really hardcore in this song, and he slings some mud at people. He never names names, but so this song was like,
It's funny because Eminem first started with Bad Boy and P. Diddy, and let's see, I think when he was live, Biggie, but then he switched up to Dre. Best decision in the world, in my opinion.
probably,
But-
yeah. Probably. Well, and we did that whole episode too, but you got to figure at one point in time, Bad Boy and that was a lot bigger, and
Mhm.
it sort of lost its fizzle. It's not as big as it used to be, but Dre is still out there. Dre's still out there, producing the stuff and making names and doing what Dre does, which is pretty amazing.
right.
And Eminem, of course, is now, he's Eminem.
He's
one of the
Eminem.
biggest rappers in the world.
Yeah.
So this song was actually leaked months before it was supposed to be released. But then when they launched it on iTunes, it's still, even though it had already been leaked, it still peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, making it Dre's second highest peaking song on the chart ever, which makes it weird that I'd never heard it before. I've
it's
never
like-
heard this song before.
I think maybe I've heard it once, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
But I'd never heard it. And so I was
Yeah,
like,
neither have I.
now, it took me a while to like Eminem. And I always thought he had talent. But
Mhm.
early on, I'm like, he's not saying anything. He's
Yeah.
just. And it turns out he was. I hate Two Trailer Park Girls Go Around the Outside, though. I cannot get into that song at all. But it started being, of course, Lose Yourself hit. I really liked that song. And then he started having more that I liked. And then I kind of went back and listened. I'm like, oh, some of this stuff is actually a lot better than I gave it credit for being. So it took me a while, but I
He
have
was-
become a fan.
Definitely getting some frustrations out in his early stuff.
Yeah.
I
And
think he
then
still is.
Rap God comes out, and he just goes, "Oh, by the way, I can do this.
I can
too."
do this. Did
Yeah.
I tell you guys I can do this?
Yeah, you want to hear how fast I can go?
And
While
we're like,
also
no.
looking like Max Headroom. It's like, holy shit!
Kev, I've got to ask, man,
Mm.
because and I know you're a fan. Is he faster than Busta?
Ooh,
I think so.
Maybe not in his heyday. I don't. Maybe Busta could have kept up. Busta's amazing, though. Let's just face
Busta's
it.
amazing.
Amazing. They should do
we
a
got
track.
we got to
together.
throw in Tech 9 as well.
They should
Tech
do a
9's
back and
real
forth
fast.
track. They should do a
Mr.
better-
Cow, like back in the day, he was pretty
Mhm.
fast too.
I forgot about Mr. Cow.
Yeah, I mean, he fell off the planet. I want to say like
that's a
after
fool.
like the early 2000s.
He
That's a
went
fool, man.
light speed and just disappeared.
He went plaid. So I got one more that I really want to talk about on here, because if we're talking about collabs, this was actually a pretty major collaboration, and so I think it needs to be talked about. With this one, I'm going to bring up two, but we're going to play a track from one, and you guys are both going to be happy as soon as I do.
Okay.
All right.
Hell yeah.
You know what's really funny? This is the Fat Boys featuring the Beach Boys doing
The Fat Beach Boys.
Wipeout. What's funny about it, though, is the Beach Boys didn't sing Wipeout. This was not a Beach Boys
Yeah, that was the
song.
Safaris, wasn't it? Or
It
no?
was the Safaris.
Yeah, it was Safaris.
I think it's the Safaris. But they get the Beach Boys in this. The video's
Confirming that.
great, by the way. The other song I'm going to bring up really quick, I actually liked as much as this, which is they did the twist with Chubby Checker.
Oh
And
yeah.
Yeah,
a ton of fun.
Safaris.
But in this, you get the Beach Boys doing the wipe out, wah, wah, wah. And it just sort of works.
Classic Beach Boys. Wah wah wahs. Yeah,
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, and it works really well with this song.
that was
So
that was a
this,
good little voice
this
crack
song
there.
came
Liked
off
it.
the album Crushin' from 1987, I think it was. So the Beach Boys had kind of made a little bit of a comeback because of like Kokomo. So this was kind of like they did Kokomo, was kind of their comeback, and
Mhm.
the Fat Boys were kind of at their heyday at this point. Where talk about just a fun rap group. I mean, they were in it to have a good time, and that's what they did. And
Pretty
they made
much.
You were
everybody-
right. That was 1987.
They made everybody happy. Like that's what they did. And
Yeah.
they had the human beatboxer. These guys were just so much fun to listen to. And so when
Yep.
they did the twist and they did Wipeout, I don't know, it was one of those cross genre things, and I think people were
Yeah.
just like, these guys are just fun.
It's hard
Mhm.
not to smile when you listen to the Fat Boys.
Right. I've always been a sucker
Fat
for
Boy,
a fun
Fat-
rap group. And
Yeah,
the Fat
I am
Boys
too.
definitely.
I am too, because that's why I always like Kid and Play. Like sometimes you just want the
Oh, that
Digital
way.
Underground.
Yeah.
Digital Underground, early DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. We were
Mhm.
we were in the car on our way to a concert. We were on our way to Alanis Morissette and Joe and Jet, and we got stuck in a traffic jam, and we're just listening to music. And
I thought you
It
were leading
was,
up to the lyrics of Detroit Rock City for a second. but
No.
You're still alive.
I'm still alive. No, it was oh crap, I had it and I forgot it. It was DJ Jazz. I think it was Boom Shake the Room came on. And I'm like looking at my daughter. I'm like, okay, we have to talk about this now, because you don't
Mhm.
know this version of Will Smith. You don't know who this
Yeah.
is. And I'm like, listen, he was great. And Jazzy Jeff is considered to be one of the best DJs of all time.
He
And he's still out there
tours on
doing
his own. Yeah.
Yeah.
He shows up in Kansas City from time to time, and it sells out every time.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't understand, man. In my humble opinion, Summertime could go on the list of one of the
Hell yeah.
best smoothest summer songs.
Yeah.
of
2 miles
all
an hour,
time.
so everybody
Mhm.
sees you. Hell yeah.
Dude, it's so good. And like Ring My Bell, and of course you saw my blinker bitch, and I think I can beat Mike Tyson. I'm like, you don't understand what this was to us when
Yeah.
we were kids.
Mhm.
Like he
That's gonna be
comes out
Logan
with-
Paul's theme song, by the way.
I think I could beat my If That Ever Happens. I don't know what's really going on with that. So
Yeah, it shouldn't happen, but whatever.
I don't know if it is. Now. It was supposed to happen in July, and
True, but
I was
boxing's
wondering about
dead.
Yeah. Well,
Logan.
if it
Paul
does
will be
happen, I think
Mike
Logan
Tyson.
Paul will be too. I just want to know, if it did get canceled, who called it?
I don't think it got canceled. I think it got postponed, and I forget why. And then there was all these rumors
Wasn't it
about
because of medical reasons for like Mike Tyson?
but not what people think. It wasn't like there was something that he needed, like something pulled something or hurt something, and then what, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, man. I'm a sucker for fun rap, and the Fat Boys were fun rap, and
Yeah.
Disorderlies is a horrible movie, but also fun in its absolute stupidity.
Oh, baby, you're a rich man. Yeah, it's so good. Just so stupid, but so good.
Yeah, and you know, have we lost 2 members or just 1 member of the Fat Boys at this point?
One of
No, I
them
think 2.
lost a bunch of weight.
Did
for
we
one.
finally lose
Yeah.
2? So it's sad. They were a fun band, and if
Yeah.
you've never listened to them and you just want to check out, listen to Wipeout and listen to the Twist, which they do with Chubby Checker, and it's so much fun. Watch the videos because they're fun as hell too. So we got one more song to talk about. Matt sent this over, and I didn't know about the song, so I'm going to play it, and then Matt's going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So you better pull up your info so you can talk about it. But
got it
here's the
right.
song. And Kev, before he gives info, I want you to listen closely to who sings and tell me if you can tell me who it is.
All right.
Not that.
Never make excuses, cause they never made excuses my side. Run, baby, run, that's your hunger.
You're making that face.
Mhm.
It's not the lead singer from the Hippos.
You 100% know it. You know who this is. We've spoken about this person on almost every episode of
We
this show.
tried very hard to get this person in an interview. We couldn't get them, but we
Mhm.
did get someone not related, musically related.
Genetically, yeah.
Works
So-
works with this person, famous. I want to say this, Matt, before you tell them who it is.
Good.
Do you know the Hippos?
Mhm.
Man, I've always thought he sounded like him.
Kind of
Wait,
does.
Kev had a thought.
I've never heard of the Hippos, but
Oh,
But
I
who
know
do
that's-
you think
but
this
we're-
sounds like, though?
this isn't from the Hippos. I think that this person sounds. I think the lead singer from the Hippos kind of sounds like this person. This is not their genre. They only do one genre. I never knew that they did a song like this ever.
Yep. This is their only song that is not of their genre.
So Matt, the band is Portugal the Man, right?
Correct.
And
Portugal
but
the
that's
Man.
not. But they collabed with.
Weird Al Yankovic.
really,
That was
was
Weird
Weird
Al.
Al.
You're hearing the whole time.
that was Weird Al.
Yes.
was Weird Al.
Yeah.
He's even in the video for this song, right? So,
Crazy.
yeah, this song came out in, I believe it was 2017. It was a collaboration for Indigenous Peoples Day, and it was supposed to be kind of like a charity song of like all the funds that came out for it were donated to Indigenous peoples charities. And they reached out to Weird Al and said, "Hey, would you like to be on this track?" And he was a fan of theirs, and they just kind of met up and collaborated and put out. It's an amazing song. In my opinion,
Yeah, it
it's
is.
a
It's really cool.
fantastic song. Now, there's a little bit more of a backstory to this. I randomly came across this song on Spotify. I was literally searching for Weird Al songs, and it was just like Weird Al. And then if you scroll down in Spotify, there's a feature, can be heard on or like also heard on. And this song was on a playlist that, was very short because Weird Al doesn't do a lot of collaborations like that.
Right.
So I heard it, loved it, watched the video when I got home. It's an awesome video. I highly recommend checking out the video as well. But friend of the show, Skiznot, okay, reaches out to me one day, just through DMs. I don't know if he does this with you guys. Hopefully he doesn't. Then I'm just special. But Skiznot reached out to me
I get the
asking for
occasional
music
message
recommendations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's never. I don't think we've talked music, but I don't think he's ever asked me to recommend music.
Yeah, so I've recommended some music to him. This is the first song that I recommended to him because I was like, I guarantee you've probably not heard this song. So played that sent him the link to check it out. He enjoyed it. And since then we've been kind of going back and forth, and he's sent me some really interesting music that,
Yeah.
like Idiot Police, I think is the name of one of the bands that he sent me. And they're like instrumental prog band that was just really fun. They have kind of like a Primus type feel to them, and yeah, just fun stuff. But yeah, this is what I recommended to him first, and the oddity of Weird Al's involvement in it, of how it is not only his first original non-parody song, because he's done original songs, but not like funny, entertaining like that. But it's his first like serious song. it just kind of stands out. And just like, I think a lot of people, even though Weird Al is as famous as he is, a lot of people aren't thinking about that side of him, that he can
Right.
do things like this. And
Extremely
so
talented
good.
musician, to the degree that I don't think people understand how talented
Yeah.
he and that band
Yeah.
really are. To be able to do what they do is actually really difficult. To be able to sound like so many different people, and he has a good
Right.
voice. It's distinctively Weird Al. If you hear it, once you hear it, you know it. You're like, oh
Yeah.
wait, yeah, I hear it now. It's Weird
Yeah.
Al.
By the way, I don't think we said the name of the song, but it's "Who's Gonna Stop Me" by
Who's Gonna
Portugal the
Stop Me?
Man featuring Weird Al.
Featuring
Yankovic.
Weird Al. Yeah, so check it out. It's really good. I'd never heard of it, and Matt sent it over, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm adding this. So, yeah, it kind of had to. I feel like that was a pertinent enough song to go on here. Look, as is always the case, guys, we had to cut this down. We couldn't have every song. I have a few honorable mentions I want to get your guys' thoughts on. And then one really specific one that, Matt, I want to suggest to you, and Kev, maybe even you, and Skiznot, maybe even you, if you didn't know about this. It's a whole album. A couple of honorable mentions: Pet Shop Boys and Dusty Springfield, "What Have I Done to Deserve This?" Which
What?
I sing it all the time. You know that song. Come on, man. What have
I might.
What have I done to deserve this? It's the Pet Shop Boys with Dusty Springfield. It's great. She
All
sings
right.
like the hooks in it. It's really good. Check it out. Of course, Boys to Men and Mariah Carey.
One Sweet Day.
It's a great collab, and it almost made the list. One that I took off the list only because we have talked about it, and I'm trying to make room. But KLF and Tammy Wynette did a collaboration. They actually collaborated on an album. Most people know the song "Justified" and "Ancient" because that was like the hit. But they collaborated on other songs on that album. This one I bumped off the list because I'll explain why. Bone Thugs and Harmony with Phil Collins.
Mhm.
Here's why I bumped it. I feel like all Phil Collins really does on this is sing the hook.
Yeah.
Of please, please take me home. It's like they rap to that. Yeah, well, he did come in and do it with them.
Yeah, he's in the
It's
video.
just him singing a part of a song he already sang. So I kind of bumped it. But the one I really want to bring up, and I want to bring to everybody's attention, because this happened in 2018. I did not know it. I went and listened. Matt, this is the best of a couple of worlds, and I want to recommend everybody check this out. Shaggy and Sting did an entire album together.
I came across that in my research for this, actually, and I was like, what the hell?
76. It is a reggae album with Sting, and it, of course, that works because a lot of Police stuff was reggae inspired anyway.
Walking on the Moon is a straight up reggae song.
It is really good, and like it's Shaggy and Sting, man. What could And they did the whole album together.
Yeah,
super fantastic.
What's a roll?
I actually had to look up the lyrics of that song. It's something about his boxers,
just like the silk.
By the way, the running joke about Shaggy on American Dad
wasn't
is fantastic. Hey, it's true, it wasn't. But yeah, I did come across that while I was coming up with songs for this.
The song that we all screw up because we all go, it wasn't me, but Shaggy's not the one who sings that part of that song. Yeah, remember, it's the other dude. We talked about this on the episode.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. And
Then who is it? Because it's the high-pitched voice guy who I don't know who it is.
That's not Shaggy. It's Shaggy and another dude. And
like the rapper in there, right?
Anyway.
But like he proposes, he proposes a situation. Yeah, she caught me on camera. Is that Shaggy saying that? Because the follow-up is it wasn't me.
The guy who said she caught me on camera wasn't Shaggy.
Yeah, he does.
That's what I'm saying. And then the response is it wasn't me. So it wasn't me. This is my argument that it is Shaggy.
Oh, you're saying who was it?
Who's responding?
I don't know.
No, I'm not. I'm saying who says it wasn't me if it's not Shaggy.
I thought
because if you're taking Shaggy out of the equation, you're removing him from the entire song. Because
he raps.
Because she caught me on camera, it wasn't me. This because he's in the song, he's saying, "What do you say when she says I caught you on camera?" It wasn't me. Who's saying that? I'm listening to the song when we're done recording, and I will.
You could look it up
You
I
could.
mean,
I could, but I choose not to.
You know what's weird is because
Alright.
like, a lot of
Not
people
yet,
say
not
stuff-
yet.
like if you ever heard Shaggy's voice and when he can sing normal,
Yeah.
but he grew up
Mhm.
in like parts of Jamaica, and so like the reggae, that's like a reggae voice, and he's adopted.
I had
that
heard
over
him
time.
talking about the fact that he was a drill sergeant when he was in the military, and that was his drill sergeant voice.
Go down and give
I heard
Mitch
him
one out.
Talking about it in an interview. So either he's full of shit or I'm completely like Mandela
down
affecting
the
this thing.
street singing. Sorry, that was a
Oh,
Stripes
God.
throwback
Shaggy
there.
is-
This is a little Stripes throwback.
do Shaggy
Um,
doing the beginning
check
of Full
this
Metal
album out.
Jacket.
Right.
That'd be amazing.
What is your major malfunction pile? I can't do it, but
I
The album's called
Farley Shaggy.
Arlie.
44/876. I don't know what that means. I'm sure it means something,
Oh.
but it doesn't mean anything.
We all know what 876 means.
Go and check it out though. It's on Spotify or whatever. It's on all those, the whole album. If you're into any kind of reggae or Shaggy or Sting, it is worth a check out. And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. And I just pushed it. It's the whole album, but I thought I'd mention it so everybody can go check it out.
Well, he pushed it
We
real good.
mentioned on the last episode, and we are going to, I think we'll wait till we have a few more before we talk about it. This show is going to be ending. We decided it was time. We're going to finish out the season, and we are collaborating. We're going to stop. We're going to collaborate. We're going to listen because we're going to be back with a whole new edition of a different show.
Oh my God.
And
That was amazing.
the three of us decided we were kind of done with the pop culture thing. We love it. It's not that we don't have more ideas, but we'll talk about why this is happening in a future episode. But we decided we wanted to. This show was pieced together. Stewie D was a part of it at the beginning, and he comes in sometimes. We hope to have, before we close things out, we really want to talk to Spanky, and hopefully Noah can come at least a little bit and talk. But the show was kind of pieced. It was Stu and I started it. KC started at the very beginning, but it was our idea, and Matt came along later, and the three of us kind of decided we want to do something together that the three of us decide on, and it's going to be way different than this. We're still going to bring our personalities because that's what we do, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We will let you know in a couple of weeks what the new topic will be, but we are actually recording a lot of these ahead so that we can work on that one in the background so that when we do go to launch it, but be looking forward to that. We'll give you more information as it comes. We really appreciate all of you guys. Please check out Alt Escape Radio. That would be really cool of you guys. We thank everyone for everything you've ever done for us. Check out all the songs we talked about today. Make sure you watch us over on YouTube. Please keep up with YouTube. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nod, nod. Keep up with YouTube. And that's it, guys. We're going to close this one out. We're gonna close this one out. We love all you guys, and remember, until next we have the opportunity to speak to you fine folks at home, to always
Stay
awesome.
Thank you for watching the mixtape. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the bell icon for notifications when new videos come out. And remember to always stay awesome.